Hello everyone. Today, I have an amazing story for you. It is not only for listening practice, but also to inspire you. The story is called Nothing is Free. It shows us that hard work, patience, and determination can change a person's life. There was once a young man named Leo. He was 20 years old and lived in a small, quiet town surrounded by beautiful mountains. Leo had big dreams. He wanted to own a chain of restaurants one day and become a successful entrepreneur. But life was not easy for him. Leo's family was struggling financially. His father, Mark, worked as a mechanic, and his mother, Claire, cleaned houses to support the family. Leo also had a younger sister named Sophie. She was only 10 years old and looked up to Leo as her hero. One cold evening, Leo sat outside his small house and looked up at the stars. "I want to give my family a better life," he whispered to himself. "But how can I start when we barely have enough to survive?" The next day, Leo shared his dream with his father. Mark listened carefully, then sighed and said, "Leo, dreams are not free. If you want something in life, you have to fight for it. Start with what you have, even if it is something small." Leo thought deeply about his father's words. Later that day, an idea came to him. He noticed that people in his town loved fresh bread, but they had to travel far away to buy it from a bakery. Leo decided to sell fresh bread locally. There was only one problem. He had no money to buy the bread. Still, Leo did not give up. He decided to take a chance and speak to the bakery owner, Mr. Anderson. The next morning, Leo walked several miles to meet him. Mr. Anderson was an old, serious man who rarely trusted anyone. But Leo gathered his courage and said, "Mr. Anderson, I want to sell your bread in my town. I do not have money to buy it up front, but if you trust me for 1 week, I will sell to you bread. Return your money and keep only a small profit." Mr. Anderson raised an eyebrow. "And why should I trust you, young man?" he asked. Leo replied firmly, "Because I am determined, and I will work hard to prove myself." Mr. Anderson stayed silent for a moment. Then he said, "All right, I will give you bread for 1 week, but if you fail to pay me back, do not come here again." Leo was thrilled. Early the next morning, he carried the bread back to his town and set up a small stand near the park. He greeted every person with energy and a smile. "Fresh bread, warm and delicious." At first, people were hesitant. They did not know if the bread was good. So Leo offered free samples. Slowly, people began to stop. Soon, he had his first customer. By the end of the day, Leo had sold all the bread and made a small profit. That evening, he returned to Mr. Anderson and paid him back. The old man nodded and said, "You kept your word. Come back tomorrow." From that day on, Leo worked tirelessly. He woke up at 4 in the morning, walked to the bakery, carried bread back to his town, and sold it with passion. After 2 months, Leo saved enough money to buy a small cart. This made it easier for him to carry more bread and serve more customers. One day, a customer said to him, "Leo, why don't you bake your own bread? You are good at selling, but if you bake it yourself, you will earn more profit." The idea excited Leo, but it also scared him. He had never baked anything in his life. That was when Leo truly understood the meaning of his father's words. Nothing is free, not success, not knowledge, not growth. If I want to succeed, Leo thought, I must take risks and learn. The next morning, after giving Mr. Anderson his payment, Leo said, "Sir, can you teach me how to bake?" Mr. Anderson frowned. "Why should I teach you? If you learn to bake, you will stop buying from me. That is bad for my business." Leo looked at him honestly and said, "You are right, but I will never forget the man who gave me my first chance. If I succeed, I will make sure to help your bakery too." Mr. Anderson thought for a while. Then he said, "Fine, but baking is not easy. It takes time, patience, and hard work. If you are ready for that, I will teach you." Leo was ready. The lessons began the next morning at 3 o'clock, before the sun had even risen. Mr. Anderson showed him how to mix flour, knead dough, and bake bread properly. At first, Leo struggled. His hands hurt from kneading. Sometimes his bread came out too hard. Other times, it was too soft. Many batches were ruined. One day, after ruining another batch, Leo sat down in frustration. "Maybe I am not good enough for this," he said to himself. "Maybe I should give up." But then he remembered his father's words. Dreams are not free. Leo realized that every mistake was teaching him something. Giving up was not an option. The next day, he returned to the bakery with even more determination. He practiced every step carefully. Slowly, his bread began to improve. After 2 weeks, Mr. Anderson handed him a loaf of bread and smiled. "This is perfect, Leo. You are ready." Leo was overjoyed. He rented a small oven and began baking bread at home. His family was amazed by his hard work. Sophie helped him pack the bread, and his mother made tea for him while he worked late into the night. Soon, Leo was not only selling bread, he started making cookies and pastries too. People in the town loved his products. "Leo's bread tastes better than anything we have had before," they said. But success was still not easy. One day, a new bakery opened in town. It was owned by a young man named Eric. Eric had a big fancy shop with colorful signs, beasts, beautiful decorations, and attractive displays. People were curious and started buying from him instead. Leo noticed his sales going down. He felt afraid. "What if I lose everything I worked so hard for?" he thought. But instead of panicking, Leo decided to improve. He listened to his customers and asked them, "What do you like about Eric's bakery? What can I do better?" Some said Eric's shop looked clean and beautiful. Others said his cakes had better designs. Leo understood that he needed to grow not only as a baker, but also as a businessman. Using his savings, he painted his cart, added bright decorations, and started offering free samples of his new pastries. He even learned how to decorate cakes by watching videos at the library. Slowly, his customers returned. One evening, an elderly woman came to Leo and said, "I have seen many young people give up when times get hard, but you did not. That is why we trust you." Her words filled Leo with pride. Months passed, and Leo's business continued to grow. Finally, he saved enough money to rent a small shop. It was not as big as Eric's bakery, but it was warm, clean, and welcoming. He named it Leo's Fresh Bakes. Every morning, Leo woke up before sunrise, baked fresh bread, and opened his shop with a smile. His parents and sister helped him. Sophie, now 11, loved talking to customers, and Claire managed the accounts. Leo was proud, but he knew this was not the end of his journey. He wanted to reach more people, make his family proud, and prove to himself that anything was possible through hard work. Soon, Leo's Fresh Bakes became the heart of the town. People loved his fresh bread, cakes, and pastries. Business was growing, and his family was proud of him. But life was not finished testing Leo. One stormy night, as Leo was closing his shop, he noticed smoke coming from the bakery. He rushed inside and saw that a small fire had started near the oven. He quickly grabbed water and managed to stop the flames, but much of his equipment was damaged. The next morning, when the townspeople heard about the fire, they came to check on him. Some said, "What will Leo do now?" Others whispered, "Maybe this is the end for him." Leo felt heartbroken, but he was not defeated. He stood outside his damaged bakery and said, "This is just another challenge. I have faced struggles before, and I will face this too. I will not give up." He took a deep breath and began making a plan. He calculated how much money he had saved, but it was not enough to replace all the damaged equipment. For a moment, Fear entered his heart. Then he remembered his journey. He had started with nothing but a dream, courage, and hard work. Instead of sitting and worrying, Leo went to Mr. Anderson, who had now retired. "Sir," Leo said, "I need your advice. What would you do if you were me?" Mr. Anderson smiled and replied, "Leo, you already know the answer. You have taught yourself that nothing is free. Work harder, believe in yourself, and people will believe in you too." Inspired by those words, Leo decided to rebuild. He did not wait for someone to rescue him. He started baking at home again with the little equipment he had left. He told his customers, "I will not let you down. I will keep serving you, even if I can only bake a small amount for now." The townspeople admired his courage. Many of them began to help. Some donated ingredients. Others gave small amounts of money. A few offered their time to help clean and repair the bakery. Leo realized something important. When you work hard and never give up, people notice. They want to help someone who is already trying to help himself. After months of effort, Leo reopened his bakery. This time, it was better than before. He painted the walls, added new decorations, and introduced new items like cupcakes and muffins. On the day of the grand reopening, the townspeople gathered outside the shop. Even the mayor came. The mayor said, "Leo, you are a true inspiration, and you have shown us that with determination, anything is possible." Leo stood in front of the crowd and smiled. "I want to thank each one of you," he said. "You have taught me that nothing in life is free. Not success, not respect, not love. Everything must be earned with hard work, patience, and persistence. Never let failure stop you. Every challenge is just a step towards something greater." From that day on, Leo's bakery did not just sell bread. It became a symbol of hope. People from other towns came to visit the young man who never gave up. Leo's story teaches us 4 important lessons. First, dreams are not free. They require hard work and sacrifice. Second, failure is not the end. It is a chance to learn and become stronger. Third, help yourself first. When people see your effort, they are more likely to support you. Fourth, never give up. The darkest moments often come just before success. Leo did not only build a bakery, he built a life full of purpose, respect, and pride. And you can do the same. Whatever your dream is, do not stop chasing it. Remember, nothing is free, but with hard work, everything is possible.